Check out the brand new limited edition Sisters of Battle Canoness model. Spiky bits. Alright, welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. Today we're taking a look at the, I guess it's limited edition Sisters of Battle model for Warhammer 40k. Of course, it's based on the iconic John Blanche artwork from 1997, so I guess it's about 20 years old or so. Now, this particular miniature here, a lot of folks might have missed out on this because they were very limited on Games Workshop's site. I think the record was they sold out in, 7 minutes or something like that. And a lot of stores are only getting one right off the bat. But Games Workshop has said, hey, don't worry, guys. We got more of these on the way. So hopefully they unlock that being temporarily out of stock on their site and they get more in there. But I'm sure the secondary market will gobble these up here in the near term, at least for the holidays. So here's a look at it. Of course, it's inspired by the original John Blanche artwork here with some little color ideas on how to paint the sister herself. Now, this is actually a lot of pieces, surprisingly enough, because there's a lot of undercuts and things back here. This is actually cast in fine cast or resin or whatever you want to call it. It definitely looks like fine cast to me. I don't know if they call it that anymore. I don't even know if fine cast exists, but we're gonna go with that because that's pretty much all we know these days here. Now, the miniature itself is $25 retail if you can find it at retail. It does come with an assembly guide and a little rules pamphlet here, which is a little bit different from the normal Canoness model. So here you can kind of see the cape goes on separate, the little shoulder pauldrons. I don't know if those are full-on pads. The backpack's separate. Then both the arms there, and what is this little piece here? Oh, the little whoosh whoosh silver skull guy, or a target. That's a targeter. Yeah, that's a targeter. Goes on separately as well, and then she has the elements of the little stacks of bones that she's stepping on go on the base there, and boom. And it looks like that is a 32mm base, which is kind of interesting to see because I guess that's the new standard, right? As far as her rules go, well, she's a standard Canoness stat line, it looks like, but she comes with this clinical precision rule, which isn't new, but I think this was in the Sorotas actual digital online book. Now, even more curious here is that it indicates that her rules can be found in Adeptus Sororitas or Codex Imperial Agents. And a lot of people are upset right now. We're going to cover that in the next video unboxing, first look review on the Imperial Agents book itself. But basically what that book is it is a way for you to take miniatures in a smaller kind of version, like a smaller formation detachment than what you would out of a normal codex, whereas you generally need to use a CAD or the formations presented in that particular book. The Imperial Agents condenses down a lot of rules, puts a lot of commonality things in there, and by no means is anything omitted out of there. And Games Workshop has come out and said that finally through some customer service emails, but nothing globally. So still a lot of confusion on it. People aren't quite sure what it all makes. So check out our next video on here on the Imperial Agents itself, because we try to boil it down and get rid of a lot of confusion out there, because there's a lot of saltiness in the sea right now, and that's sad to see, because you know the hobby's been doing so well and growing so rapidly in the past 6 months or so. And then she's got the standard Axe of Faith, but she does come with a power weapon. So this is basically 85 point version of what she would normally be if you got her in the book. Now let's pop her out of the little, I don't know, what do you call this, plastic area here. Now this obviously doesn't need to be contained in that, but they wanted to do it upright with a little, you know, fantastic collector's box kind of type deal. This obviously would fit in a normal clan pack that we're used to seeing models come in, but that's okay. It still works out pretty good. So there you can kind of see she is very dainty in size. Now, way smaller than a normal Space Marine would be, and probably right on par. She's probably larger than most of the pewter cast Battle Sisters. It's hard to tell because she's kind of I guess that would be her correct height there, but not necessarily how wide she would be, because she's got her leg up on that pile of skull things right there. But which explains also why she's on the 32mm base. But you can tell, I mean, the detailing is really good. Games Workshop has gotten way better at using this particular material here You could tell that there's a whole bunch of different sprues and chutes here to inject the material, but there's a lot of dainty areas. Like, I wouldn't want to trim that off right there. Like, I would be afraid that that would snap. And then the power sword, of course, kind of looks very blunt. You got to get in there and shave it down in a lot of things. So I'm kind of confused by this. It's not exactly the quality. I mean, cast-wise, the detail is there, but it almost feels like it's a subpar quality to me, which is very sad because, you know, so many people are really interested in this model. Now, the backpack itself looks, and you know, being collector sisters myself, I have quite a few. That is a way more detailed backpack than what I'm used to seeing in pewter form. But again, I'm not sure. It looks brittle, and I would be very hard pressed to get in there and trim that off. So it's a cool model, and you're going to have to do a lot of work. You're going to have to be very careful as you detach her from the sprue and put her together, because even the sword right here, you can see it's not flat. Like, it's almost. This whole sprue actually is kind of warped, and it's kind of bent. Now, I've never worked with the fine cast material before. I doggedly avoided it because it's just, I've heard so many horror stories about it. I didn't invest any time and effort into, besides filling holes and gaps, how to fix it. So I couldn't even tell you if this is bendable with the application of heat. So definitely Google that before you ruin any miniature or do anything to jeopardize any miniature that you pay top dollar for. That's not a good way to spend your hobby dollars there. Detail, check. Quality, I'm middle of the road on that one. You know, nostalgic value, I don't even know how to say that word, but it's definitely a blast from the past, which is great, and that's another plus to this miniature. But as far as, you know, I guess what I'm trying to articulate is it's not exactly what I expected opening the box. Now, it's very well done, very well laid out. The instructions are obviously top notch with the different color schemes and everything in there like that to help you know how to put it together. But overall, this is going to be a decent amount of work and hobbying to get to look good. So take your time, be careful when you're taking these parts off the sprue right here, because you don't want to damage anything. So overall, I think it's a cool product, but it's not something I would want to maybe trim down and on like an army-wide scale, I guess, for there. So that is my take on the matter. I also think that the detail, or the design itself, pretty much holds true to the classic piece of Blanche artwork. You know, some things you just can't. You know, some pieces are, let's zoom back out here a little bit, but there's just some elements to art that you just cannot reproduce in miniature. And I mean, there's a lot of small details here that just were, you know, non-reproducible in miniature there. But I think Games Workshop definitely stayed true to the original design and kind of overall theme to this piece of artwork. So I'd love to see more stuff like this in the future from way back in the day. So that's it for this one, y'all. Clarifications, errors, omissions, please leave it in the comments below.